What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video, and today we will talk about Federico Chiesa because the Italian newspaper La Gazzetta dello Sport is reporting that Juventus are willing to listen to offers for Federico Chiesa and Liverpool are preparing a 40 million euro bid for Chiesa. Of course that's the first bid that Liverpool are going to make. Juventus want around 60 million euros for Chiesa, which is around 53 million pounds, and even that I think is a reasonable price for a player who had a pretty average season last season with Juventus, but who in recent years has been one of the best attacking players in the Serie A. So we will look at all the detailed reports and why Juventus have to sell Chiesa this summer. Of course, one of the main reasons is they didn't make Champions League or Europa League football, so they have to sell some of their key stars, and Vlahovic and Chiesa are on the transfer list of Juventus. They have to generate some serious money to stay within their budget, and of course they want to strengthen other areas of the team. So let me know what they think about this news in the comments below, and leave a like if you enjoy these transfer news update videos, and subscribe so you stay up to date with all the latest Liverpool news. And Giovanni Albanese, an Italian journalist, is reporting that Liverpool is the only club with the most concrete interest. I mean, Liverpool are among a host of clubs interested in Chiesa, but Liverpool are the most interested, and we have been linked with Chiesa for the past 2 seasons on and off, and Liverpool are preparing a 40 million euro bid according to this journalist. As of now, Bayern Munich, Chelsea and Paris Saint-Germain are monitoring the situation, but Liverpool have the most concrete interest. And I mean, usually a club asks for 60 million, Liverpool offer 40 million. Usually they meet somewhere in the middle, maybe like 45 million base fee plus another 10 or 15 million in bonuses and add-ons would be enough to price Chiesa away from Juventus. But I would only take Chiesa if it doesn't come at the expense of signing another midfielder. We need 2 midfielders, but if Chiesa is available for like 40-45 million pounds, I would take that in a heartbeat, and I think Liverpool can afford it because we have spent very little money in the past 2 years on players, apart from of course some attackers. And yes, primarily he's a winger, he's playing as a right winger, but he can play as a number 10, he can play behind the striker or after striker as an attacking midfielder as well. And last season Allegri, the Juventus manager, used Chiesa as in a kind of a free striker role in a 4-4-1-1 system. That's why I'm saying that I think Chiesa could fit in at Liverpool as kind of an attacking midfielder, kind of as a second striker. We could play Darwin Núñez or Gakpo or Jota up front, Chiesa in behind in that Roberto Firmino role. And then of course we could get Luis Diaz on the left, Salah on the right, or Gakpo on the left, Salah on the right. And Chiesa wouldn't take any of Salah or Luis Diaz's place on the wing. He could play as a second striker behind the main striker. And Chiesa is right-footed, so his best position would also be on the right wing. And we need cover for Salah because he sometimes needs a rest, and also he will go to the Africa Cup of Nations in January. So maybe this signing would alleviate the fear of Liverpool dropping a lot of points without Salah, who is our main goal scorer. Chiesa could chip in with goals in Salah's absence. Juventus of course want to maximize the deal of the transfer money that they get for Chiesa, but even selling for 50 million euros, which could be around 42-43 million pounds, would be considered a good deal for Juventus. Chiesa is one of Juventus's most important players, but the attacker has not done well under Max Allegri, and Juventus can sell him. Liverpool plays of course a fast-paced attacking style of football, which might suit Chiesa better than if he stays at Juventus, because Juventus's football has been pretty dull, pretty dire under Allegri in recent times. Chiesa had a pretty average season, playing 33 games in all competitions, scoring 4 goals and getting 6 assists, so 10 goal contributions is not a lot, but Juventus didn't have a great season either with the points deduction and everything else. Of course, Chiesa can play in a number of positions, and last season was also an injury-hit season for Chiesa, where he only played 18 games, scoring 4 goals and getting 4 assists as well. But when he is fit and firing, he can be a world-class player, showcased 2 seasons ago in the 2021 season, where he played 46 games, scored 15 goals and got 11 assists in all competitions. That was his best season at Juventus, but you could argue that Liverpool don't really have any spare money to spend on an attacker when we are already stacked in the attacking department. We have Gakpo, Nunez, Jota, who can play as a striker. We have Luis Diaz, Jota, Gakpo, who can play on the left wing. Even Darwin Nunez can play on the left wing. Darwin Nunez can play as an out-and-out striker as well. And we have Salah on the right wing. We have Harvey Elliott who can play there. And potentially maybe Jota can play on the right wing as well. So you could argue Liverpool are focused more on signing a midfielder and signing a centre-back at this moment. But if we have a lot of money left over or enough money to buy Chiesa, I would definitely risk this transfer, because 43 million for a player who is only 25 years old. So Chiesa is not an old player. Even though he has been around for ages, he still has great resale value. Even if the transfer doesn't work out, even if Chiesa picks up a lot of injuries, we can sell him for pretty much the same price that we bought him for. But last summer was the summer where Juventus permanently purchased Chiesa, even though he has been playing at Juventus for 3 seasons. That's a little bit misleading, because he was on loan at Juventus for 2 seasons from Fiorentina, and then Juventus purchased him outright for around 70 million euros, which is a lot of money, and probably Juventus don't want to sell him for just 50 million euros. And of course, Chiesa won the Euros with Italy, and he won the Italian Cup with Juventus and the Italian Super Cup, but he hasn't won a major trophy in club football. I mean, apart from the Italian Cup, he hasn't won the league or the Champions League, so I'm sure that he would love to do that at Liverpool in the next few years, depending of course on what kind of role Jurgen Klopp wants to give him. And Chiesa is a very talented, fast, skillful, hard-working player with good technique, a short stretcher, a low center of gravity, so he can drop his shoulder and go past people. Of course, his injury record is a little bit worrying, because he missed large chunks of last season and the season before last season. I think he can get back to his best, and he has good stamina, acceleration, dribbling skills, and he loves to create goal scoring opportunities for himself and for his teammates. He is great at crossing the ball, at shooting, scoring, and he has even been occasionally played as a center midfielder and a deep lying playmaker. So he's a very versatile player, and if Liverpool sign him as kind of an attacking midfielder alongside McAllister, that could actually be brilliant, because then we only need, I think, to have a brilliant defensive midfielder and Trent Alexander-Arnold behind Chiesa and McAllister, and then imagine the kind of damage that Liverpool could cause the opposition if we had Trent and Fabinho as the defensive midfielders. We could have Gomez playing at right back, so his main task would be defending. And then we could have Chiesa, Darwin Nunez, Diaz, Salah, and as a substitute Gakpo, Jota, causing mayhem and havoc in the opposition final third, and that could be really, really promising and really exciting. Of course, Chiesa has a world famous father, Enrico Chiesa, who was also a famous professional footballer, and he played for various Serie A clubs, Parma, Fiorentina and Siena, and he represented the Italian national team. And also, what is really interesting is his son, Federico Chiesa, enrolled at the International School of Florence, where he frequently took English classes, so he is pretty fluent in English, and that's really good. He also spent 2 years at university studying sports science, so Chiesa already has knowledge of the English language, so he wouldn't be really out of place in England because he already can communicate. And I have mixed feelings about the news that Fabio Carvalho is going on a straight loan deal for 1 year to RB Leipzig, but he will have incredible competition. It doesn't look like Leipzig are selling Szoboszlai, they have Dani Olmo, and they just signed Baumgartner, so they have incredible competition for Fabio Carvalho in that attacking midfield role. But I think Fabio Carvalho will have a chip on his shoulder after, you know, having a great first half of the season, scoring some really vital, really big goals, doing well in training, and still Jurgen Klopp didn't play him that much in the second half of the season, and that's a mystery of why that is. But the Bundesliga is also a very strong, very physical league, so I expect Fabio Carvalho to do well there and to also bulk up in physicality, because that's where I think Fabio Carvalho is lacking. He's great technically, he has a brilliant vision, great touch, great dribbling, but physically he's just a little bit too easy to push off the ball. So that's where Fabio Carvalho needs to a little bit grow physically, and also he needs regular playing time. And with Liverpool signing midfielders this summer, and already it looks like Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones are ahead of Carvalho in the pecking order, his game time would be very limited. So a loan move to Germany makes a lot of sense for Fabio Carvalho. But there is no buy option, and Leipzig very rarely do a loan deal with no buy option. I think the last time they did something like this was for Emil Smith-Rowe of Arsenal. Probably Fabio Carvalho's biggest problem was that he doesn't have a position in Liverpool's team in terms of he's not a winger and he's not a number 8, a box-to-box midfielder. He's a straight out-and-out number 10. An attacking midfielder. And Liverpool don't really play with an attacking midfielder. Very rarely have we played in the 4-2-3-1 formation where you have an out-and-out attacking midfielder. But even that attacking midfielder has to track back a lot and defend, and that's not Fabio Carvalho's forte, that's not his best attribute. And Leipzig play in that 4-2-2-2 formation where they have 2 defensive midfielders, 2 out-and-out attacking midfielders, and 2 strikers. So Fabio Carvalho will thrive there, and he will have a designated position that suits him down to the ground. But at Liverpool, you know, he just didn't really fit into the team, because Liverpool play with box-to-box midfielders who have to do a lot of defending. And as I said, Fabio Carvalho didn't really have the physicality for that. He was pushed off the ball too many times, he lost the ball too many times, and probably that's why Jurgen Klopp didn't fancy playing him more often. And I think it's the best solution for all parties. Fabio Carvalho goes to a great club who actually plays in the Champions League, not like Liverpool, that hurts. But at least he gets enough minutes, we see how he develops. And Fabio Carvalho has immense potential and great talent. So we didn't want to lose him, we didn't want to sell him right now when he's at the beginning of his football journey, at the beginning of his development. So hopefully at Leipzig he will get a lot of playing time and a lot of minutes, and he can play, grow and develop and come back a much better player. But you also could argue that Leipzig lost Konrad Laimer and Nkunku, so they have places up for grabs. Yes, they signed Baumgartner, but hopefully Fabio Carvalho can force his way into the Leipzig team, even if he just gets 30-40 minute cameos here and there, and sometimes starts in Bundesliga games and in the cup games. He would play more often at Leipzig than he would at Liverpool. I still think it would have been better for Carvalho to go out on loan to a club like Brighton or West Ham, or a decent mid-table side where he could play a lot more. But it looks like Leipzig are in the Champions League, so Carvalho took that opportunity because they are a really big club in Germany. They won back-to-back German Cup trophies, and also they are regularly playing in the Bundesliga. And that's it for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.